Morning. Happy to be here with you. This is the coaching call for, May 15th. Woohoo! Risk warning. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. And this presentation is intended to be informational and educational and is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. And if you need personal financial advice, consult your financial advisor. So we'll do a sound check here and a screen check here. Let me know if it all looks good. Thanks, Alan. I really appreciate that. Okay, let's go over our May goals. Find and take 5 trades that make $1,000 per $2,000 invested. One big trade worth $57,000. Learn to trade companies entering bankruptcy. So we're going to change this goal. We're going to learn to trade companies with optimistic earnings transcripts plus perfect trade characteristics like multiple profit circles and so forth. Focus on learning how to grow a small account, increase your self-reliance so you can do this on your own. And the May slides are right here. So I got a note that the May slides weren't linked inside of our big document. So I don't want to share my Google Drive with you. So just for a moment, I'll pause. Okay, there you go. Slides are up there. They're in the document. They're right here. Okay, it's May 15th now. Many of you probably have already left a comment in the webinar today and let me know that I took the wrong trade on the IWM. You know, it's not lost on me that I'm good at a lot of things, but times and dates and sort of things are maybe problematic for me. And so I apologize. I made a whole video about it and got really excited. I still love the stuff that I sent you inside of Telegram Messenger, and I really do actually like the IWM put. I took the wrong trade, though, and this morning I'm going to have to close that out and correct the error of my ways. So I'll just show it to you right here. This is the IWM $121 call that I bought. It was up $280 at some point yesterday. I'm going to kind of extrapolate the positives from this situation. Positive number one is that we did an update later in the day and we kicked that off. That's a positive. Positive number two is that by mistake, I made $280 in unrealized profit, which by the time the market opens today will turn into some kind of a loss. And then I'll just take the loss and we'll just replan things and get going in the right direction. Anyway, it's one of those experiences where, you trade the opposite of what you planned and then you end up making money and then you start to question all of your, closely held beliefs about how good of a trader you are. Just kidding. I'm going to add another instrument to the Bounty spreadsheet. So it's 5/15/2020. And I'm going to add Vsto, which does outdoor sports stuff. I think their earnings were on 5/13. It doesn't really matter. We could probably take that off. 0 profit circles and divergences. I'll share with you what I mean by that in just a minute. And I'm Mr. Booker, and we'll take a look here. So in my scan of stocks that have all of these characteristics that I'm willing to pay you for, under $11, RSI, volume, and so forth, I came across VSTO. So we'll reduce the stock screener. And I came across this, and it didn't look like any of the ones that we look at. It didn't look like one that had dropped and printed bullish divergence. It didn't look like any of those things. In fact, it looked totally different. It kind of looked more strike zone-ish, jumping up and then resting back lower. And I thought to myself, wow, that's kind of interesting. I'm going to look at the earnings. Why not, right? Because what we get to do here is we get to look at everything. And although it doesn't have 2 bullish profit circles on the 4-hour chart and has no bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart, it is oversold on the relative strength index on the 4-hour chart. And on the daily chart, it's kind of in the midst of sort of a gradually inclining bullish trend. Now, I'm not necessarily going to buy this stock. This is a company that sells outdoor sporting goods, including ammunition, guns, and other things. And I don't really know what I feel about that. And I'm not really a prude when it comes to sort of trying to impose my morals upon the stock market in some way. I think I'm pretty much happy to make money off of any stock and then put it to good use. So I don't know if I really necessarily care about any of that, but I decided that I would go ahead. I just had a feeling about maybe it's a good idea to just look at the fundamentals. Maybe just take a look at something maybe that I wouldn't ordinarily have looked at. So what I did was I first pulled it up on Yahoo Finance, and I found that they have a current ratio of 2.87, which means they have $2.87 in cash, $2.87, excuse me, in cash for every dollar of short-term debt that they have. Total cash is 31 million. Now total debt is 585, but a lot of that's long-term and no big deal. NBD. They have cash per share, and they did actually have earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Now the quarterly revenue went down. That's to be expected during sort of a pandemic situation. But then I decided to read the transcript, and you can find it on Seeking Alpha. Seeking Alpha has the transcript, and I just want to focus on the sections of the transcript that I think I would want you to read. Given the uncertainties around the health pandemic and timeliness around the economic recovery, we have limited visibility beyond our first quarter. However, given our strong current ammunition ordering patterns, this is very good, we are able to provide guidance for the first quarter of the fiscal year 21. So they are providing guidance. Remember, companies right now don't provide guidance unless it's positive. If it's not positive, they simply refuse to do it. In setting this guidance, our assumptions include the continuation of the current strength of the commercial ammunition market and e-commerce market. Certainly, if Biden appears to be gaining ground in the presidential race, this kind of a stock is going to do well, the people who gather up guns and ammunition. Our status as essential business kept the manufacturing lines open. Now, factored in declines at our retailer channel partners has caused a drop in sales. Okay, well, those are going to reopen. Okay, so now I'm really getting somewhere optimistic. Our guidance for the first quarter of 2021, so that's next year, we expect sales in the first quarter to range 370 to 400 million. We expect first quarter adjusted earnings per share in the range of a loss of 5 cents to break even compared to a loss of 8 cents, meaning they may break even here. Our assumptions include benefits from cost-saving initiatives, support transparency, overall annual blah, 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 anticipation of free cash flow to be stronger. Our strongest cash flows typically occur in the back half of the year due to seasonal sales. They've streamlined their cost structure, reduced their debt, improved operating leverage, increased the resiliency of the supply chain. I like it. In fact, I like everything about it. They have cash in the bank. Their retail distribution partners are going to improve and reopen. I like this stock. I'm going to add it to the 57K watch list. And I'm going to look at the 15-minute chart. I'm going to look at bullish divergence, 2 bullish profit circles, and I'm going to go ahead and buy some shares of this company. I liked it. I like the earnings outlook. I really think that there's some positives here, even though it doesn't look exactly like the technicals. The fundamentals behind the company looked pretty good. All right, so I'm only up $156 on this IWM call. I'm going to sell to close all 4 contracts because I took the order in the wrong direction. I got a little bit lucky here, and I'm done with that. Okay, see if I can get out of that trade. And then I'm going to look at VSTO, Vista Outdoor, just see what the options look like. I'm not really sure I want to buy the options, but I'm willing to take a look at the options. And we would look at calls in August. It's trading at $7.31. So what about the 80-cent? Let's see what the spread here is. The spread is between 10 cents and $1.50. That's completely ridiculous and stupid, and I would never in a trillion years. So let's take a starter position in VSTO, 500 shares purchased. Let's grab this chart and need to do that. Meant to do this. Grab the image, drop it down into the chart, the whatever you call it. I don't know what I bought them at. What did I buy them at? $7.33. I would say I would call these optimistic earnings. Bullish divergence. Profit circles, 15-minute chart. Missed pivots above. Started with 500 shares. Would add another 500, 600. Ooh, above $7.50. Stop out below 7. Target is open. Let's see how far this can run. There we go. We're looking good there. Let's take a look at a couple other things. Uber really hasn't moved until today. Uber is down on the open. This is a head and shoulders pattern on the 15-minute chart. Shoulder, head, shoulder. I think Uber is poised and ready for a drop. Jim Cramer on Mad Money was talking about how today would be the day that the market rebounds. And we'll see if it does. It would have to go really strong into the close. And there have been plenty of signs that at the close, running into the close, the market gets bullish again. So we'll keep a really close eye on that. I still want to really, 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 really badly get out of Resideo Technologies. Resi still have these shares. You can take a look at them. You can see them right here in the Robinhood account. So I have 1,100 shares at an average price of $6.07. I'm down $888. I would really like to get out of that trade at break even. That would be just a beautiful thing. I have VSTO down $40. That's fine. No big. And today my options on TLRD expire. Goodness gracious alive. Glad to have that kind of come out of the account and get it over with. Wayfair down today pretty badly, hitting that weekly pivot that we talked so much about, that 100% chance that the weekly pivot would be hit. Well, that happened. So Wayfair is down. Wayfair has a long way to go, much lower than this, but it would traditionally bounce off of this weekly pivot and then give me a chance to jump in on something significant to then get myself all the way out of, any kind of positions that I don't like or would like to change or blah, blah, blah. So Wayfair's kind of really kicked me in the, it's really caused me some pain and frustration, but it's kind of looking much better now. And if it falls to 120, I'm going to have a pretty great situation. Overstock is probably worth, let's just say, $15.28 a share. If I could short Overstock right now, I would probably do it. But I can't, so I won't. AMCX is probably one of my most favorite magic formula investing stocks. I never bought it. I thought I did, but I don't have a position on AMCX, and I thought I did, and I thought we talked about it and whatever else. But I think AMCX has the potential to move much, much farther up. EAF. So this turned out to be a loss. It turned out to be kind of a problem. It turned out to be kind of a garbage trade after earnings. I don't remember really reading much about the transcript or whatever else, but I did take a look at EAF on the implied volatility situation. And check this out. It jumped up and it kind of mildly went up, and now it may be in the process of dropping in price on the stock, but implied volatility going up. we may get another chance to buy this one, so I would consider it. Okay. So I'm going to leave it on the list and would consider it. I'm still kind of super interested in Peabody Energy. I'm definitely interested, as you know, in Chesapeake, but it hasn't done anything since we bought it. And there are lots of folks who think that this is probably worth zero. Now, I only have a starter position of 100 shares on this. Um, so I only have a starter position. HCC, on the other hand, I'm actually up $156 on my starter position, and this is seemingly doing well. Take a look at HCC on our Squeeze Me situation here. Check this out. Applied volatility is really high. Statistically speaking, this has more room to go up. So today, I think it's time for me to add to my winning position. I have a starter position of 100 shares. I don't need to get crazy about this or do anything wild or whatever. But I think what I'm ready to do is I think I'm ready to buy some more of HCC. So maybe 300 more shares. I think that makes complete sense. So I'm going to go ahead and put that order in, and I'm going to buy more HCC. We'll go up here to added to a winner. Why not? So we checked Squeeze Me. We looked at VSTO, and I'll check out the bounty spreadsheet. Okay, nothing new on the bounty spreadsheet. So there you go. Why don't I make it interesting? So you know what we're looking at on the bounty spreadsheet, right? We're looking for stocks under 11, RSI 14 under 40, volume is more than 300 or 500,000 shares, and then they have to have bullish divergence and profit circles, even down as far as the 15-minute chart. I'll pay. I don't want to be a cheapskate, but since no one's added anything to the bounty spreadsheet in a few days, I'll pay $25 each for the next, let's say, 8 entries. But if you put more than one in there, we'll spread the love. So if 8 of you put in a stock, then 8 of you, and if you put in 2, maybe I'll throw in a little bonus, whatever. But we wanted to, I know it's not much, but it'll pay you for your time. I don't expect you to work for me or work for free. I never expect that at all. But it encourages you to do some learning, right? It motivates you to add some things to the spreadsheet. I know I didn't pay enough attention to the bounty spreadsheet in the past, and that's changed, and we're going to spend a lot of time on it from here on out. We'll also look at the magic formula investing, and we're going to spend a lot of time reading some transcripts and doing some stuff. So I would like to motivate you to do some of your own study and research. So if you add 10 instruments to the bounty spreadsheet, I'll put a bonus in there for you. But ideally, there would be 8 of you at least that add 1 stock each. And then I'll just Venmo it or PayPal it or whatever you put on the spreadsheet as the way that I can send that to you. It's just my way of saying, I don't expect you to pull up trade ideas for us, but I would also pay you if the trade pays off, right? I would also split the winnings with you as well. Okay, that's just my way of expressing some interest and motivation in getting you to pull up some trade ideas and look at some things and whatever else. All right, so how's the IWM doing today? IWM is down a bit. Let's take a look at it. So I did want to look, it's a bearish market, and it's a bearish profit circle. And it's underneath the monthly pivot. I wanted legitimately, like I really actually wanted to buy the put. So let's buy the put. I want to buy the August puts. The 122s look nice. I wanted to buy four of them, 4,000 bucks. Want to review that order. And then I'm done. I think I actually bought the correct financial instrument this time. We'll see if that trade gets taken. I'm just checking out. Everything's a little slow. My internet connection here is actually pretty good. So, four contracts at $10.45. I don't know why it says that was 9 hours ago. That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense at all. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. And we'll just. I think I did everything. There we go. All right. So here we are. I bought the put. There it is. What I'd like to do now is I would like to officially put this in the slide presentation so we log it as a trade. I think this is potentially, and I talked about this on the video, I think this is potentially either a let's say $500 loss or a $2,000 to $3,000 gain. I get real quiet when I'm doing this just so I don't mess it up. Bearish trend, bearish, profit circle on 4 hour, 122 strike. I love giving it until August because another wave of pessimistic news has plenty of time to come out. Missed weekly pivot below. Target on the stock is like 111. Stop out with $500 to $700 loss. Go for a $1,000 to $3,000 gain. All right, there you have it. Oh, so is there a way to check out implied volatility just in TradingView? Yeah, so Chesapeake, Sue, you're just 100% right. It's really one of those things where you buy 100 shares and maybe you lose $50 giving it a chance, and otherwise you just quickly throw it in the garbage kind of thing. We probably won't ever do a trade like that again, ever. I don't imagine we will anyway. It doesn't really. It's technically a perfect trade setup, but it's in the energy sector, which tends to be such a weird, volatile type of situation. So, Doug, I don't think. Well, I don't know how to check implied volatility across the board on something, but I bet you can check it in like Think or Swim. So it's like the squeeze me thing has like a general implied volatility across the board type thing, which is really neat. Okay, IWM, alert me when you fall. Ooh, Wayfair's down again. Wayfair's not having a good day. Okay, I'm just looking at my Chesapeake. Yeah, I only have 100 shares, Sue, on Chesapeake, so much better, than if I went really, really too big on it. John says, I sent you another email last night about the profit circles on my TradingView charts because I wasn't showing anything on KSA. Okay, so there's two ways to get the profit circles. There's the way that you get it in the indicators panel. So Booker. And you go for those reversals right there. And so they do line up every once in a while, like this green one lines up, but then this red one doesn't print the tab, right? The tab doesn't print, so they don't line up all the time. So the other way to get them, I'll just leave them on the screen right now, is to go here in the big dock of links and download those and see if they line up when you do that. And then we'll continue to work on. It's so weird that they don't line up. It's all the same exact code. It's so weird, so strange that it doesn't line up. So I'm very interested in making sure that they line up for you. That's a big deal to me, and it would frustrate me as well. So how do I feel about JD and the put positions? Well, I mean, it's earnings, so let's read the earnings transcript as soon as we can. JD earnings transcript. And I think we just need to, today, this is the slide deck for JD. Larger growth potential, operational strong growth momentum, profitability improving with scale, robust cash flow generation, unaudited select financial data, supplemental business information, superior service, JD.com. So let's read it when we get the full transcript. It may be super optimistic, Doug, and this may just end up being, it may end up just not being a great trade, and then it just goes down in the loss column, and then we turn it around some other way. I can't remember what I found because it's all kind of blending together today on a Friday, but it's kind of an overvalued company from a otherwise fundamental point of view. They kind of have a precarious debt situation and a precarious cash situation. Their numbers are really a black box. They do these things, but their numbers are really a black box. It's not really actually a very transparent company. So it's not easy to see exactly what's really going on here. Based in Beijing. So, China's kind of a black box when it comes to companies and stuff. So we'll see. I'll update you, as I get more information and read through that transcript and get a better feel for what I think about things. Still really like Martin Midstream. The implied volatility situation on this stock seems to suggest that this is about to have a gargantuan move upward. So you can see here, implied volatility just totally jumped. That is generally an indication that we're going to see a pretty big move, generally speaking. So we're gonna see here. We're gonna see what we get. I'm gonna stay in this position. I own 1,000 shares of this stock, and below this weekly pivot at $1.99, I start to change my opinion. Bingo Bango is at the monthly pivot. Don't have a lot to say about that one. Nothing different anyway. OPK, that was a strike zone trade, and I think it's completely reasonable to take the profits on that one. Scott thinks that we should take profits on that one, and Scott's usually right about those kinds of things. And implied volatility is kind of staying strong. So if you stay in that position or just cash out some of your trade and leave the rest open, I think you're good to go on that one. And then VSTO, bought a little bit of that bad boy, and that looks to be doing okay, actually. Already up about $70 on that. Cool beans. All right, all day long I'll be kind of through, out of the corner of my eye taking a look at IWM. And then if you want to stay tuned on the Telegram channel, we'll stay updated on stuff. On TradingView, I find that I miss pivots showing on a chart, and then suddenly on one financial instrument, I see none. I have noticed that as well. Sometimes, Kelly, I'll be on that chart for 5 minutes and they will suddenly appear. Also, if I refresh the chart, it sometimes appears. It's just a glitch on TradingView. I noticed that for myself as well. The line won't extend even though it's clearly missed. So I love you all. Very happy to spend some time with you. And I'll see you on Monday. And I'll jump in hopefully a little bit later on today and close out a trade that's bad or add to a trade that's going well before the close.